we're towards the end. I want to provide some closing words. Thank you, Mike, for your patience with us. And Cedric, I think Cedric left, or Cedric, for the final words, I'd love to have you up here, Cedric, if that's okay with you. So, Cedric, it's interesting. I always find myself looking to my right or my left, and Cedric is either on either side of that whenever there's like a protest or anything going on that's really fighting for the community. And it's just when you do that and you find that and you look to your left and look to your right, you see the same person. You don't have to even speak. You just know that they're in it with you. And I've heard, one day I asked Kia, Brian, who you heard speak earlier, I said, Kia, does Cedric talk a lot? Because I've never heard Cedric speak. And it was probably like a day or two after that I ended up hearing Cedric speak for the first time. And, I just want to lift up that, there's important work happening to recognize the school to prison pipeline, to recognize the torturous state that even people who are in the system are being forced under in isolation. And the current administration does not want to address that. They don't want to call it what it is, which is torture. No, Cedric is out there doing the work, fighting the good fight, not only the fights that we're all in collectively, but even on his own, creating spaces where truth has to be brought to light, as they say, truth to power. So Cedric, you can come up here, share a few words. Love for you to,
First thing I want to say, this is a great man right here. This is a great man. He's going to be our future governor. I know things happened in the past, but he's going to be our future governor. Another thing is, we all need to do the work. There's so much work that needs to be done in these communities. And us being who we are, we need our communities to help us as well. Like the police, they're not here for us. There's a system put in play where police were invented to catch slaves. Like we all know this. We all know the police were here to catch slaves. And it's slavery all over again. It's not anything new. You go to jail, the first thing that happens is you lose all your rights. Most people that are in jail are who? They're us. They're our minorities. All the men are being taken out of their homes, forcing these women to raise families by themselves. Like this is a systemic, huge issue to the point where when I watched the video of those kids getting pepper sprayed, the main thing that bothered me was the 22-year-old girl that was getting attacked by grown men. The father was recording her, and he couldn't do a thing. He couldn't do nothing at all to protect his own daughter. And that alone in itself is disgusting. Like there should be no reason why a father can't even help his daughter while she's getting beat up by grown men. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like if he was to do something, they would have blew his brains out on the streets. And it's like, it's not a black and a white thing anymore. It's a power struggle. It's people down in the top telling us what to do and how we should maneuver and how we should go about things. To the school systems as well. These kids can't go to college. They can't go to college. They don't have the funding to go to college. No matter how much we try to preach education, they don't have it. And it's like us as a community, we need to start building these schools for our communities. We need to start putting jobs out here for our communities. All the money that we get, we got to invest into ourselves because they're obviously not going to give it to us. They haven't been giving it to us for hundreds of years. And I'm glad that we are putting people like us in power. Like that's going to be a huge change for people like us. And Lewis is an excellent example of what we need to happen, what needs to happen in our communities. Providence it's a whole collective of every nation in one state. There's every single piece of person around the world in one state. And it's like, we know what we need. They don't know what we need, but as a collective, if we come together as a community, we can really get done what we need to get done. And another thing is gun violence. Gun violence is not caused by these kids picking up guns. Most of the guns that get into our communities are brought in by the police. Like systematically, everything's geared towards us to lose. And I feel as though these children don't have no hope. They don't have no one to look forward to. They don't have their fathers are locked up, their brothers are locked up, their uncles are locked up. They can't really get jobs. You fill out applications. The first thing they're going to look at is that name, and then they're going to look at that race systematically. All over the country, it's like we need to destroy it as a whole. And I feel as though Lewis is the greatest starting point to what we need to get done. He's a great man, and just like he's saying, every event that I've been at, he's been right along there with me. Every event I've been at, for children, for any type of injustice that's been going on. Lewis is right there with me. It's like, I really respect this man. He's a great man, and he's going to bring change, and he's going to be our governor.
Thank you. So, all right, so everyone, thank you so much for making it out today. Thank you for everyone who's been listening to the live stream. Steve, thank you for sticking with us, and Kat, thank you for sticking with us. It's been a long day. I hope that it's been edifying. Even today, even these amazing people that have been talking about the work that they've done, the history, and the work we still have left to do. Sometimes I go into conversations thinking I've heard it all, and I've learned everything I can from them, and then they teach me more. So I just appreciate you all, and then thanks again. As they say, people power progress and forward motion. All right, thank you all.